Well, hello, friends, fellow brigaders, fellow challengers of 2017 31 day. Blah, blah. We are definitely getting down the choir on this one, which is, it's been an experience for me. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I kind of went off a little tangent rants on a few of the last ones, but it is because, some of the stuff is, to me, seems repetitive. To baseline, I guess. I'd like to see the questions be a little deeper, but that's just me because sometimes I'm a deeper, convoluted, twisted individual. So, you know, you get what you see, and sometimes you get something you don't plan on, right? Because you can't see it all. Anyway, day 26. Which RPG provides the most useful resources? Well, hmm, I hate to sound like the guy that's the champion for this game system, but I keep harping on it. But you know, Dungeons and Dragons, in its varied forms and additions and subdivisions and so on and so forth, because of its sheer size and time and the amount of people that have worked on it over the years, they have provided a huge amount of supplemental source books that, in and of themselves, are quite useful. Now, the argument will be made, and justly so, that a lot of this stuff is repetitive and it's the same stuff rehashed. Also, that a lot of stuff that's in these books are by nature fluff because that's what they are. They're filler. How many how many game systems we have that are to the point and neat and easily uh, defined. And it varies, right? Now, sadly, I'm still talking about old school stuff, and everything I have is outdated and old by your guys' standard. Most of you guys have got stuff in the last 20 years, entirely new systems that have learned from the, and I don't want to call it mistakes, just learn from the older systems and the older uh, what not to do and how to do things better, how to creatively provide the information that's needed by the players and by the game masters to run and play the games in the spirit or the flavor that as intended, but at the same time provide entertainment value and eye candy, things that will draw your attention to and make you want to have their stuff. And there you have it. I mean, which RPG provides the most useful resources? I think any RPG that you like, that you get really into, probably has what you need to play a good game and to be effective as a GM or a judge or as a player. Otherwise, why would you be attached to it so much? Why would it draw you in? I mean, come on. I've got a few game systems where I got into them and I'm like, no, no, it's not for me. And then there's others that I look at them and I'm just thinking, oh, that would look like it'd be a great system to play, maybe a great system to run in. You know, just look at it, and I want it. Oh, well, I'm not going to deny that. But as for resource materials, well, I think you know I find what I have to be sufficient in most aspects. Once again, if I branch into a new game system, and it's these days it's been very few, very rare. Uh, I think the newest thing I got's 15, 16 years old, right? System wise, I've had some newer books that add to those systems, but the system itself, uh, well, and that's because I don't want to say I hit a plateau because that's not true. It's just that it just got to be where it's like any kind of addiction, if you will. I spend way too much money, too much effort, too much time in it, and it hurt my family, it hurt my friends, it hurt myself. It's part of that dark side of the nature of the game. Once again, we've done a series of blogs on that in the last 6 months. I encourage you to, Google dark side of the gaming and see what pops up, especially from some of your fellow brigaders here did some really good pertinent entries on that subject not so long ago. And there's a lot of truth to it. So, most useful resources. I have to say that the most useful resources are not from an RPG. They're not. It's from the internet. It's from fellow enthusiasts and hobbyists. It's from you people. From you people. You people come up with some good stuff and great ideas and do twists on things and see things we each see things from a different light, and from that we gain a broader, wider range of options and concepts. Plus, the consistent creativity that flows through a lot of these blogs and these logs and these blogs and all these other things that I've been reading and viewing and stuff. It amazes and awes me. It makes me humble in a lot of aspects, and it reminds me that in my little corner, I might be the guy who knows the most of this stuff, or is the one that's the most nutty about it, most enthusiastic about it. But by no means am I the only one. And then I see other guys and other gals that just, it amazes me. It blows my mind as to how much effort and stuff, material, time, and knowledge that they have or they put into this hobby of ours. And it is that, you know, uh, for you old school people, back when I was a kid, model railroading was a huge thing, and I got into it for a while when I was young, and I tried to get back into it a couple times over the years as I got older, and if you weren't in it in the beginning and it kept up at it, it become more and more expensive and harder to get into later in your life. It was a luxury that you just really couldn't afford to do well, and yet at the same time, it was an all-consuming hobby. You could spend most of your afternoon or evenings in your basement or in your workroom modeling things and improving your layout. For the most part, your own enjoyment. A few people would come in, and like a mother hen, you'd fret and you'd worry that when these people come in and want to play with what they see as a toy, and you see as a lot of time and effort. You know, so our world's not that different. We books and paper, computer files, what have you. Most useful resources are you, for what it's worth. Is my opinion. Thank you very much.